I feel like these kids aren't going to like me very much because I'm just like going right at them. Like, truth hurts. We'll talk about it. The Enneagram 4, also known as the artist. The Enneagram 4 is a person who experiences an inner sense of lack and craving for what is missing, and yet can't allow for the attainment of what might provide satisfaction. Sensitive, introspective, expressive, dramatic, self-absorbed, temperamental, and creative. The drive of the 4 is to focus on what's lacking as a step to regaining wholeness and connection, but it can keep them going in circles because they can be convinced that they have an inner deficiency that prevents fulfillment. Basically, 4s stay frustrated. They recast their sense of deficiency with being special or unique. They represent the archetype of the tragic artist who suffers in service of artistic expression. They see the idealized vision and value of authentic emotions. They see the beauty in darker emotions and tend to like to go to painful places more than any other type. They are unafraid of intense feelings and can support others with great care, sensitivity, respect, and empowerment. Their superpower is the ability to be naturally emotionally intuitive. On the other hand, they can definitely overdo their focus on pain and suffering, which is a way of avoiding a different kind of pain, where they can overly attach to those feelings and prevent themselves from taking action or thinking clearly. Oftentimes, 4s get stuck in feelings of melancholy or sadness, which makes it easy for them to withdraw or be rejected, thus seeing themselves as not being good enough to be loved as a way of opening up to the possibility of love, trying to protect themselves from abandonment. Essentially, 4s would rather feel sadness and grief than face that they actually might not be able to be loved. Because of this, they'll often sabotage themselves. 4s are a part of the heart triad with 2s and 3s, where they have an inherent focus on sadness. Being in conflict with sadness are Enneagram 2s, 3s underdo their sadness, and 4s overdo their sadness. All of the heart types share a concern with image or self-consciousness about how they appear in the eyes of others. They all want to be seen, but sometimes have difficulty being seen. If you're a 4, you might align with these key beliefs. This is a really funny coping strategy that 4s have. Not funny, it's serious, but my coping strategy is to feel bad about myself to avoid feeling worse about myself. This is funny because I'm a 4. I'm lacking some essential qualities of goodness, so I'll inevitably be rejected or abandoned by others. Since I lost the love of someone I loved or needed in the past, it must mean there's something fundamentally wrong with me. What I was eludes me, and what I can have seems somehow boring or lacking something essential. It's mundane. What I want most is ideal and at a distance. If someone does love me or want to be with me, there must be something wrong with them. What I want most is love, but I won't be able to get what I want because experience has proven that I'm unlovable. I will never be able to fit in because I'm unique. I feel as if I don't belong. No one understands me. No one understands me. I expect that eventually most people will abandon me. I'm sorry. That's sad. The passion for the type 4 is envy. And think about that passion as the default setting for that type. 4s are constantly comparing themselves. It's not good. Basically, envy or jealousy of what you perceive other people have, you perceive them as they feel more fulfilled and whole than you are because you are missing something, which is not true. It's just stop scrolling through social media and maybe you won't feel as much envy. I'll have some tips later for how to deal with that. Unhealthy 4s become self-inhibiting and angry at themselves, depressed and alienated from themselves and others, blocked and emotionally paralyzed. They become ashamed of themselves, fatigued, and unable to function. Don't be this 4. Thank you. Average 4s take an artistic, romantic orientation to life, creating a beautiful, aesthetic environment to cultivate and prolong personal feelings. They heighten reality through fantasy, passionate feelings, and the imagination. Healthy 4s are profoundly creative, expressing the personal and universal, possibly in a work of art. Inspired and self-renewing and regenerating, they're able to transform all of their experiences into something valuable. Very, very creative. That's what we want. Enneagram 4s make great actors, writers, directors, content creators, designers, artists, marketers, and therapists. The careers that best fit the 4s are the ones that are in tune with their natural strengths. They're creative, self-aware, and sensitive. 4s seek individuality. Therefore, they tend to seek work in places that care about authenticity and creativity. Rather unsurprisingly, Type 4s are likely to excel in creative careers where they express emotions in forms of art. Examples of such careers include artists, photographers, writers, or various types of designers. Ideally, Type 4s will want to work in places where they can connect with other people. They'll want to work as part of a team and other like-minded individuals who value and accept them. 4s will thrive working with attentive, genuine, and open-minded peers who understand their vision. A career in marketing or as an editor will allow Type 4s to work in open-minded teams. Great healthy hobbies for 4s include creative writing, painting, taking photographs, journaling, and making music. Communication. Your communication style reflects your appreciation of being thoughtful, reflected, and attuned to others. You have a gift for helping people appreciate subtlety and emotional nuance, and for going to the hard places in a conversation when needed. But your gift for personal expression can challenge others who appreciate a more direct style. Your written and spoken communications can be long-winded and rely on metaphors, leaving some people scratching their heads, and you can balance this by making sure you include clear statements or requests in your written and spoken words. If you have a friend who is a 4, know that their sensitivity can cause them to sometimes appear moody or to withdraw. Try not to take this personally or to judge them, but instead check in and make a connection. Ask how they're doing. Tell them you noticed that they were a little more remote than usual. Invite them forward and let them share whatever they feel like without trying to manage it for them. Character examples. Bob Dylan. He's a songwriter, and his lyrics are generally reflective and introspective, commenting on the world at large. A living personification of what it feels like to be a 4 is the character Edward Scissorhands. He wants to be loved and is special, but he has difficulty being loved because of his deficiency by having scissors for hands. So he hurts people. And it's hard for him to be loved. Eeyore from Winnie the Pooh. He's just sad, like all the time. How to grow as an Enneagram 4. Don't pay so much attention to your feelings or attribute meaning to them beyond what you feel. Here's some advice. Remember that from our present perspective, we can also see that one of the most important mistakes 4s can make is to equate themselves with their feelings. The fallacy is that to understand themselves, they must understand their feelings, particularly their negative ones, before acting. Commit yourself to productive, meaningful work that will contribute to your good and the good of others. No matter how small your contribution may be, working consistently in the real world will create a context in which you can discover yourself and your talents.
I feel like we need to get a 5 to read this.
Actually, you're happiest when you're working?
Find yourself in a vacuum.
You will not find yourself by being in a vacuum or while waiting for inspiration to strike. So connect and stay connected with the real world. Stay disciplined in things that are healthy for you. Sleeping regular hours, exercising, and eating well. These activities will consistently strengthen you. Avoid lengthy conversations in your imagination, particularly if they're negative, resentful, or excessively romantic. These conversations are essentially unreal and at best only rehearsals for action. Although, as you know, you most never say or do what you imagine you will. So instead of spending time imagining those things, just start living them. Just start living them. Live here in the real world. It's kind of a sad place to be, but I understand why you wouldn't do that, but you should. I can name many people who love me unconditionally. My emotions are a passing instance. They don't define me. I deserve unconditional love. I'm a channel for inspiration. I choose to be kind to myself. I am enough. I'm building my self-confidence every day. I'm Noelle. Thanks for... No. Okay. I'm Noelle. Thanks for learning about the Enneagram 4 with me. Check out the rest of the series to hear more about the Enneagram.